Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of the weekend wrap up on the Juice Box Heroes podcast. I'm one of your hosts, PK, and we got the Dude Bomb Fan Club president, Chris Moreno. Sweet B Bones Bryles is in the house. Fellas, how was y'all's weekend?
Man, it was pretty good. I mean, it got a little concerning after yesterday's game. I mean, but hey, anytime that you can go to New York and beat the Yankees, I'm all for it. We got a little busy towards the end. Just got back from baseball practice, but hey, all in all, fantastic weekend. Browse, how was your weekend?
All right. So mine was uneventful other than watching the Astros this weekend. So I think we got a little bit of audio going on with Bryles. But if you can hear us, blink.
Nope, I'm back.
There we go.
Sorry,
Bryles, how was your weekend?
It was good, man. No, we had a great family weekend. Went up to Splashway, and big happy 14th birthday to my daughter Lydia. Today is her 14th birthday. She had a concert and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, it was a big day for her, big day for the family. But yeah, it was also a big weekend for the Astros. Obviously, we got to go up to New York. We PK and I got it right. I was hoping that Chris would have got it right, but anyway, we did take 2 out of those 3, and anyway, look forward to getting into it.
Yeah, so look, going to the predictions, Chris, go ahead and throw that thing up there, and then I'll say my little piece about it. This is the updated predictions.
I mean, I don't know why we need to.
I think we should. The people want. People requested. There it is. Chris is the half game out of last place. Or holding half game out. Second.
Out of the cellar.
So yeah, look. All right, Chris, bring it back. So here's the thing. Here's what I wanted to say about the fact that me and Bryles predicted the correct series. It should have been a sweep. Let's just be honest. It should have been a damn sweep. Me and Bryles should have lost this weekend. Chris should have got the 3-0 thing. We're going to get into Saturday night's game. Let's start with Friday. We had Hunter. Who did we have on the mound? Hunter Brown. No, we didn't. We had Fromber. We had Fromber on the.
No, Fromber was Saturday. He was yesterday.
I'm looking at Saturdays. So it was Hunter Brown on Friday against Schlittler. Make sure you put that L in there. It's not Schlittler.
Yes. So, and I do apologize. I mispronounced his name in our last broadcast. I called him Shitter. It is not Shitter. It is Schlittler. My apologies.
I will say I did get a bunch of complaints, Bryles, about you messing up his name.
Yes.
So that's probably why this, last episode took a dip in the views.
That was sent to the HR department. So you'll be receiving
that was on me.
Tomorrow.
I apologize.
They tried to cancel you, but I had to cancel.
They tried. We talked
about
it.
Yeah.
So, we lead off the game with the Altuve bomb. I don't really know when these people in these out-of-town stadiums are going to stop booing him. I, for one, enjoy it because he reminds them to keep booing. So that's how we started off the game, right? And it's always awesome when Altuve goes out there and hits a bomb in Yankee Stadium. I mean, it really is. I mean, is it not just – it just shuts that fan base up for a minute. And then, of course, you just keep getting the F you Altuve the rest of the game, and he just continues to do what he does. The thing, even though we hit that leadoff, the runners in scoring position is still an issue. They were 2 for 10 in that game, right? They were 2 for 10 with runners in scoring position. They left 10 on base. So you had the Altuve bomb, and that was pretty much it until the 10th inning. That was it. That was your offense. Was that first inning 2-run bomb?
Yep.
So, look, Hunter Brown. Let's get into that here in a minute. I want to hear what you guys' first. What y'all's takes on it. I probably just covered most of it because there really wasn't a lot. But Bryles, what was your take on the game before we get into Hunter Brown's outing?
Well, if we're going to skip the Hunter Brown part, then yeah, I mean, it was all Altuve from the very beginning. That was really awesome to see. And I totally agree. It's every time he goes to like Los Angeles or New York or wherever it is that all the Astro haters are, let me tell you, keep booing that man. Please, please, please keep booing him because every single time he reacts, and it hits the other team so hard, they end up losing the game. So anyway, I love it all day long. I was super happy to see what Altuve did. I was happy to see what Correa did in the game. I mean, I understand that, yeah, all the offense on Friday was basically Altuve until the 10th. But, hey, look, these guys were playing some really, really nice defense out there too.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what was my biggest takeaway is the defense, especially for our infield, looked amazing. Correa at third base right now, I never would have expected the fact that he would be basically a Gold Glove defender at third base when he hasn't really played that position. So anyway, that was my biggest takeaway on Friday, other than the Hunter Brown stuff. Then that was it. What you got, Chris?
Yeah, so it's funny because my notes that I had for Friday game, number one, it was fantastic. I mean, like I love when they first pitch to Altuve, he takes it over the left field fence. My first note for Friday was Altuve, keep booing. I mean, because every time I don't get it. I mean, you would think that New York would learn from Los Angeles. They don't, but it is what it is. My next note was exactly what Brow said. I mean, Correa has been so dominant at third base defensively. Like I literally have Paredes who, because I've already forgotten that Isaac Paredes was our third baseman. So, I mean, like as far as Correa doing his A-Rod, move to third base, he looks like that's his natural position. So, my other note again, I mean, you know me, I'm the 2 for 10 runners in scoring position. I mean, like there was one time where I think Christian Walker came up, and like I about lost my nerve with Christian Walker because I think you had one out, runners on first and third, and then I think he hit into a double play. And I was going to go on this big tirade about Christian Walker until I watched it, until today's game happened.
Till today's game.
There we go.
Yeah,
there we go.
So,
totally redeemed himself.
Yeah, there you go. Then my other two notes is, Hader going 2 innings. Whew, it got a little spicy at the end. I don't know why. I mean, I understand the thinking behind it is he had a very quick first inning. I think he only threw 8 pitches the first inning.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I think I know what a spot is going to do. He's going to throw him back out there since he only threw 8 pitches. And it got a little dicey, but, he was able to, get through the inning. Astros win Friday night. And Taylor Trammell, man, I mean, like,
hell yes.
Holy moly. I mean, Devin Williams, like, how frustrating are you if you're a Yankee fan? Because what I understand is his story was he's one of the main guys that complained about the Yankees not being able to have facial hair. From an article that I read, I don't know how accurate it is, but I think his last 4 outings, he's got an ERA over 15. He's 0-2. He's blown 2 saves. So, yeah, man. Thank you to Devin Williams for basically underhanding the changeup to Taylor Trammell. I mean, so that's pretty much everything I got from Friday's game. And again, Hunter Brown pitched fantastic.
He did. So before we get into HB, you also had the Correa at bat in extras before Trammell went yard, right? And so that little blooper single up the middle of the score was down in the zone. He went down to get it after. I mean, it was a good at bat, and then you had the Trammell bomb that just sent him to the concourse. So let's get into HB. Was moving through the Yankees lineup. I mean, just moving right through them until the 6th inning. And then the 6th inning, a little bit of control issues, walks, hits. His final line was 5 1/3, 4 hits, 2 earned, 1 walk, 5 Ks. 5 1/3, you're not going to complain from like our start. You're going to get complaints about your starter going 5 1/3. However, this is like Hunter Brown. So if you want to be a little bit nitpicky, you're expecting him to go 6 2/3, 7, whatever. We've just kind of seen that here recently where, it's just not as dominant. I think he had a dominant outing a couple outings ago, and that was the Hunter Brown that we were, expecting to see. But here, this one is a good one, but we needed our bullpen to come in. Sousa goes 1 1/3. Brian Abreu, he goes the inning, and then Hader with 2. When Hader came into the 9th, and Chris, you touched on it, he had a 6 to 8 pitch, top of the 9th, and I posted immediately like, Espada better not bring him in the 10th. That was my first thing, right? Because we've seen it time and time again where, and we saw it here. Now, granted, we came on the winning side of it, right? But, he gets 20 to 25 pitches in, right, when he goes to, and it's not the sharpest. However, on this night, we got it done and we got the win. I mean, great way to start. I mean, I was pumped. Pumped when Trammell went yard. I mean, we've clowned on that guy. We've clowned on him, and he still continues to play. And every now and again, he comes to in these clutch moments. And that was his former team, the Yankees, right? So it was good for him to do it to one of his former teams. So that's Friday. So let's go into Saturday. Saturday, we got Fromber on the hill against Gill, who I believe was the AL Rookie of the Year last year, I believe.
Yep.
Correct.
So you're expecting another. Before I go into mine, what was y'all's reaction to the game on Saturday? Either one of y'all go.
All right. So my notes for Saturday was, again, 2 for 8 with runners in scoring position. And honestly, what I wrote down for Fromber was this is the second start in a row he has not looked great. So,
yeah.
And I'm trying to remember, was it last night or was it Saturday night's game or was it Friday night's game where that umpire behind home was just absolutely atrocious? I can't remember which one it was, but I mean, Fromber didn't look good. I think Blummer came out and said that like he only had, of all the curveballs he threw, only 2 of them were strikes. So he definitely didn't have his curveball command. You can kind of tell when he kind of got frustrated, but again, I'm not saying that I'm starting to feel worried, but this is now 2 back-to-back starts that Fromber has not looked great. Like he's looked like that 2023 version of Fromber, where like once he starts getting out of the game mentally, the wheels start to fall off. Mm-hmm. So that's really all I had. Bryles, what did you have?
Well, I know we didn't win this game, but I thought this was a winnable game. But also to tack on to what Chris was saying, and you can go check the tail of the tape as far as like our podcasts are concerned. I've been saying that, Fromber's had a lot of traffic on the bases almost this entire season. I feel like every time we're talking about a Fromber start, I'm up there saying like, hey, he got out of it. He probably shouldn't have, but he got out of it because he had a lot of traffic on the bases. And I think this time it just finally caught up to him, was kind of the problem there. But we had multiple opportunities, I think, to win this game. PK said at the beginning of the podcast, Chris should have been right. We should have gotten all 3 of these games in New York. Of the 3 I thought we could possibly lose, I did not mark this one down as one that we were going to lose. I thought, if anything, we were going to lose the Jason Alexander game. But, hey, look, that's just how, that's how baseball goes, baby. Susan. Yeah.
You put some respect
anyway,
on his
and we'll get to that in a minute. And I don't want to disrespect this guy by any means because of what he did today. But as far as the games and looking at it on paper, I thought Saturday was going to be a win. I think some of that bad juju that Fromber's just kind of had going in and out through the season caught up to him. And also, like Chris said, we had runners in scoring position. They just didn't capitalize.
Yeah, so you had Pena lead off the game with a home run. So now you're looking at back-to-back games where you've scored first in the first inning, put pressure on the Yankees right out of the jump, right out of the gate, just so that Fromber in his first inning of work, I mean, I think he had a single and a walk. I mean, and of course, like you said, his curveball was nowhere near the plate. Like it just wasn't. It just one of those days where he just did not have control of the pitch that sets up all his other pitches, right? And so when he doesn't have that curveball working for him, it's hard to adjust and get going. So yeah, look, you gave up 2 in the first, right? You tied up in the 4th, you give up the lead in the 5th, so you're 4-2 chasing, and then the 8th inning you plate 2 runs. You plate 2 runs. You tie the game, and then old Brian King comes in. Mr. Brian King. Right? Now, I don't know. Y'all ever watch like the condensed games, or I know you guys watch highlights, right? But Trent Grisham reminds me of a beer league softball guy that plays 2 games on Sunday nights and is just out there playing. I don't know what it is. Like when he tracks the fly ball, he just looks like he just reminds me of a softball guy, right? And he's the guy that hits. Yeah, he's the guy that hits the bomb in the 8th inning to give them the lead off of King. But King, you can't throw a 91, 92 mile an hour fastball middle in to a left-handed swinger and expect nothing to happen. Now, I mean, Grisham's been hitting like pretty damn good for the Yankees this season. So Grisham gets the loss, and that's really that sums up the game. That sums up the game right there. Obviously, they take the lead, but that was a very, Brazo, you said it, a very winnable game, right? You had Fromber on the hill. That's your number 2, 1A, 1B, however you want to look at it. You're expecting like we're going to come through, and we didn't. So that was a sweep game, and then we go to Sunday, baby. But looking for the win. We need the series win. Mariners are still playing hot. Half a game, they cut the lead from a game to half a game going into Sunday. Right. So we've got Mr. Costanza himself, Jason Alexander on the hill, and you're going up against Max Fried. Biles, what was your take for today, my friend?
I mean, on paper, I didn't think we were going to win this game. I'm not going to lie. I was looking at it. I was like, okay, so we got a getaway day. Who knows what a spot is going to put in for a lineup? You got Costanza on the mound. He's hit and miss, probably more miss than hit lately. And we're going up against one of the guys that's in line for AL Cy Young Award votes. And by God, did he prove me wrong. Oh my God. I was watching the first part of the game, and then I had to go outside and I was doing a couple of things. My son Colt kept coming outside and telling me, Dad, you're not going to believe it. It's like so-and-so hit the ball, and then it was caught in left field, and it was out. And I'm like, okay, well, what does that mean? He goes, well, the Yankees don't have any hits. He's like, Dad, the Yankees don't have any hits. He's walked 2 of them, but there's no hits. And I'm like, what inning is it? He's like, no, it's the 5th inning. And I'm like, what? It was like, Costanza had a no-hitter going through 5? And then I stopped everything I was doing and came in and watched the game.
He did until Colt jinxed it.
He did until Colt said something. Until
Colt jinxed it.
Thanks a lot, Colt. Thanks a lot.
Well, so anyway, spoiler alert, he didn't get the no-hitter, but we did win the game. And I will tell you, this is the best outing I've seen from Jason Alexander. And, listen, I hope this goes forward all the way through, and we keep this guy in the rotation. Listen, I know we've got JP France, Christian Javier, Luis Garcia. All these guys are going to be coming off of rehab stints and coming onto the big league roster. But at the same time, it's if we can get pitching out of Jason Alexander like that, dude, he's not going anywhere. I hate to tell you, Colton Gordon, but you might either be in the bullpen or back down to Sugarland. But if he's pitching like that, that's what we're looking at moving forward. And I really hope that is the case. And then secondary to that, obviously, we had a huge day today from Altuve and Correa and Christian Walker too. Those 3 guys combined for some massive offense. And I'll let you guys take it after that.
So look, Jason Alexander's last two games that he pitched 6 innings each and 4 hits. So 12 innings, 4 hits, 0 earned runs, 9 Ks. Those are his last 2 games that he started today and at Miami. So now the 2 before that, not so good, right? But like these last 2, 12 innings of 4 hit ball and no earned runs. Like that's what this guy's been doing the last 2 innings. And if you think about the series that we're playing in, right? The Miami one, you're coming off a sweep of Boston, right? You're not playing good ball. You needed to win the series in Miami, and he was a contributor to that. Then here you are against the Yankees. You drop a game on Saturday where you should have won. You need to win the series. You need to hold that lead in the division, and he comes out and, Brazo, you said 5 innings, no hits, ends up with 6 innings, 1 hit. I mean, he sets the table for you, and now you just need your offense to come through, and they did. I mean, you said it. Altuve yard, Correa yard. In the what inning was it? Was it the fifth? I think it was the fifth. I got it right here. I don't know why I'm talking about it. That would have been the what's his name? Cam Smith. The Cam Smith 2-out RBI
Huge.
double.
Yes, that was massive.
Big time. Big time, big time, big time. And that kid's been struggling. That kid has not been playing some good ball like at the plate. So it was cool to see him come through. Oppo two RBI, 2-out bomb. Christian Walker, like you said, look, his last 5 games, the 2 games against the first 2 games against the Yankees, he was 0 for 8 with 3 Ks. And that falls in line with Chris, what you talked about earlier, where on Friday, it seemed like Walker was coming up at times where we had guys in scoring position or, less than 2 outs, whatever it was, right? I think they even walked Correa when one of those at bats to get to Walker, and he didn't come through. So he needed to have this game 3 for 4, 2 runs, 2 doubles, an RBI. I mean, like he had a game. So, Chris, I'm sure I stole all of your stuff. You might have a couple notes there. What do you have for today's game?
Well, I mean, the good thing is you almost stole all of them. Yeah, I mean, like this was one of those games where like you're starting to feel you're feeling the pressure of Seattle being essentially breathing down your back. I mean, they're a half game behind you, so you went into this game and you needed a win because right now Seattle's got all the momentum, right? One of the hottest. They're probably the hottest team since the trade deadline. And I'm sitting here thinking, who would have thought that of a series where you had Hunter Brown, Framber Valdez, that Jason Alexander would have given you the best start out of the 3.
Yep.
There was a stat that they were talking about how Jason Alexander, I think he played for like 2 or 3 teams this season. Then he came to the Astros, but they used him as a bullpen guy, and his ERA was almost 6. The Astros moved him to a starter, and going into this game, his ERA was like 3.17. So that probably dropped. It's probably now sub 3. So again, like as much as like you can complain about the hitting, the pitching staff, but the Astros time and time again find these guys that nobody cares about. It reminds me, and again, maybe this is not a correct comparison, but it's very Colin McHugh-ish. But then they just pull this guy off of waivers, and then they find whatever it is to tamper with him or tinker with him, and then they unlock something. And again,
That's a great
I'm not saying
comp.
this guy's going to be 98 Mike Hampton and win 20 games. I mean, but like he's the guy that you needed a win today. Like you couldn't lose this series to the Yankees. I don't know what Seattle did today. I mean, I don't even know if they could still be playing. I don't know. But the big thing was I liked, like I said, the Correa home run. I thought the homage he paid to Altuve from the 2019 ALCS where he told him not to rip his jersey off. I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like again, Cam Smith with the big 2-run single that he got. Because I mean, honestly, like it looked like there was a lot of factors going against us because that ball that Christian Walker smoked would have scored Dubon, but it ended up being the ground rule double. So I'm sitting here, I'm like, man, we just cannot catch a break. I mean, so for them, they put it together, and I did say last episode that you never know. I mean, maybe Fried was in the market for a bad start. Well, we got him with a bad start, and essentially that was a stolen game. Because like I said, we had Costanza out there. I mean, when you look at Costanza versus Max Fried, your normal betting man's going to put their money on Max Fried. So, again, excited. We got a win that we desperately needed. And, again, it's always +5 when it's against the Yankees in New York. I mean, so all I can say is that my cousin was oddly quiet this weekend.
Yeah. So Cam Smith's double to plate those 2. I want to say that the pitch before his double was actually a strike that was called a ball.
They missed the call. Yeah,
I mean,
it was Boone got ejected early in the game.
Boone got ejected in the 3rd. So like that, pitch before, I mean, it wasn't like scraping the corner. It was in the strike zone.
That's when you do
That's when you hit that. See Tampa Bay. What's that kid's last name for Tampa Bay that did that against the Astros and lost his shit and got ejected? Do you remember that game earlier in the season?
Yeah.
But yeah, so look, breaks go both ways. I mean, Hunter Brown got squeezed on Friday, right? I mean, it's just part of it. But thankfully, it worked in our favor. And then even the extra inning game, I think it was the extra inning game where who hit the ball off of the wall? I know Walker was at first. Whoever hit behind Walker, he hit the ball off of the right field fence, and it was off their red LED sign. Ahmed Rosario went to go get it, and it was the ball blended into the sign to where when Trent Grisham threw the ball back in, I thought he was deking it. You remember that play?
No.
The point of it is,
I don't remember it like that. No.
It goes back to the bad breaks, right? Where, you talked about Walker's ground rule double that, I mean, if it just kisses the top of the wall, we're scoring at least one, and we end up not scoring that inning, right? And so it's all about these breaks. And then we talk about Cam Smith and the missed strike 3 call, and the next pitch, RBI double down the line, you break the game open, ball game. So we'll take the win. Like you said, it's always sweeter when it's in New York. Always, always, always. And now we move back home. Correa is going to open up at home for the first time since he's been reacquired. And we got a decent little schedule coming up. You got Boston for 3, Orioles for 3. I think you're at Detroit and then at Baltimore. I think those are the next 4 series. So you've got some series coming up. The Boston one, we all know what happened a week ago. We got swept out of Boston. Bregman's first game back to Diakin Park. Correa's first game since he's been reacquired. Boston's playing some good ball. They're 4 games out of second right now behind the Blue Jays. Chris, throw up the overlay. Who we got pitching? Bros, you want to break this down?
All right, bro.
All right, guys. Big series coming up against Boston. Whoo, man. I can't wait for this one. All right, so Monday, guess who we've got coming out for his 2025 MLB debut? Christian Javier. So obviously no stats on him against Garrett Crochet, 13-4 with a 2.24 ERA. Tuesday, Arrighetti looking to get back on the bump and get something positive going. Right now he's got a 7.43 ERA, but obviously that's in limited work. Against May, 6-8, 4.98 ERA. This will be his second start after coming over from the Dodgers. And then Wednesday, we've got the Friday night winner, Mr. Brown, coming in 9-5, 2.51 ERA against Walker Buehler, 7-6 with a 5.4. Boys, what you got?
It's gonna be a good one,
man. I mean,
it's gonna be a good one.
At this point, I mean, I don't know what you really kind of expect. As far as that at Javier. I mean, I think he's going to go at the most 4. I would be shocked if he goes past 4. Honestly, I'd probably be shocked if he goes past 3. This is his first major league start after coming off of Tommy John surgery. I mean, so I would say this is I don't want to call it a bullpen game, but it's somewhat of a bullpen game. And then you got Crochet. What are the odds that you have 2 of your top Cy Young candidates pitch bad games back to back? So that's kind of like what you're kind of hoping for. It's kind of a lot. I mean, I'm gonna go 2-1 Astros. That's what I'm gonna go.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go 2-1. I think. Look, well, I don't want to be Debbie Downer and say 1-2 or swept again. Can't afford to be swept again, right? Can't afford to lose the series. So yeah, I was gonna take 2-1. The Crochet game is gonna be a tough game. Like the Walker Buehler doesn't scare me like at all, like not one bit. Dustin May, I mean, he's got a lot of firepower on that right arm. But I believe he was injured. Was he injured last year for LA? Throw it back up. What's his?
He was up.
He's been injured almost every year.
Yeah. So 6-8. So yeah, look, the Crochet's that's a tough match, right? And then Arrighetti has to bounce back from his last outing. I agree with Javier as far as Javier, 2-3 innings. Try to get him out of there with he's gonna be on a pitch count for sure. Probably going to see 4 pitchers, I would assume at least on Monday. But I still think we go 2-1. If you look at our lineup, man, like it's Pena, Correa, and not in any order. Pena, Correa, Altuve, Walker, Jesus Sanchez, right? Like that it looks really good. It looks good on paper for at a minimum, right? And so I like it. I like 2-1. We owe them a sweep. Like we really owe them a freaking sweep, and this would be a nice series to sweep with Baltimore coming into town too. So I'm still going 2-1 just to be on the safe side a little bit. Definitely need a series win.
Minus that last sentence, you just took the words out of my mouth, because we owe them a sweep, and that's what I'm predicting. We are going to get the sweep out of this. The boys are going to be coming back to Houston, fired up about that New York series, going and taking 2 out of 3 from them on the road. They already know what happened last time we were in Boston, and I guarantee you they're going to be fired up for that first game, and that first game is going to be the one, I'm telling you, that's going to set the series. So we're going to come in. We're going to beat Crochet. I don't care if it's Christian Javier on his first start of the year. He may look good. He may look bad. That part I can't tell you. But what I can tell you is that leadership of having Correa coming from the Twins and back to this Houston lineup and actually scouting, because that was one of the things he kept saying about Devin Williams over this entire series in New York, was he goes, hey, look, guys, I have seen this guy 3 times already this year. Let me tell you what you need to look for. You need to look for the changeup. And it's that kind of leadership, I guarantee you, that's going to have them going up against Boston, beating them that first game, and then taking the next 2 after that. Because, PK, I agree with you. I am not scared of Bueller, and I am not scared of May, because he's been hurt. He hasn't been throwing well, and there's a reason neither one of those guys are in Los Angeles anymore, is because they didn't want them anymore. Mm-hmm. So guess what? Yeah, we're taking all 3 games and put it on the books.
Put it on the books, Moreno.
I like it.
Look,
I like it.
Real quick before we get out of here, there's a little bit of injury update. This is going to go back from last week from a few guys. So we talked about it. Christian Javier, he's starting tomorrow. Luis Garcia threw 4 scoreless, allowed 3 hits, struck out 7 on Tuesday at Sugarland. Paredes, we already know about him. Jordan took batting practice on the field Tuesday. Jake Myers, this would have been on the 5th. So they announced that Myers has resumed running on flat ground. And then McCullers and Walter, they started throwing. So that's where we're at with the injuries, right? So
thank God he's not running on Elliott ground. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. Yeah, look, I think that's going to be it for this episode. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to the weekend wrap-up. Man, it was a good weekend. We needed that series up there in New York. By the way, Chris, Seattle won, so they're still a half-game lead in the division. I don't know who they have this week, but hey, it doesn't matter. We got to control our own shit, right? We got 3 against Boston. Barles picks the sweep. Me and Chris go 2-1. We'll be back with you guys on Thursday, normal time. But until then, I'm PK. That's Chris. That's Barles, and this is the Juicebox Heroes. 3 weeks, UT Ohio State, baby. I'm ready for that one too.
Woo, 1 versus 2.
Yep.
Welcome.